What a try that was. Cooper Cronk onto Billy Slater. One of the great grand final tries in my opinion.
Pure magic.
Pure magic. We'll just talk about the signings just before we went to a break. Cronulla stocking up on West Tigers players and stocking up on some high quality players as well. Do you see them being competitive next year?
Very much so. They're going to have a much more competitive team next year. Obviously, bring in Luke Lewis. They've got Wade Graham coming in. They've got Bo Ryan and Chris Harrington confirmed yesterday.
Yep.
I think Bo Ryan, adequate replacement for Colin Best. I must admit, in my opinion, not as good as Colin Best. Colin Best is very underrated.
I think, and he was much maligned as well. His defence was criticising it early in his career, but he really worked hard in his game. I thought, and I think Cronulla. I think he was at the Souths for a period.
He was at Souths for a little bit. Canberra before that.
Canberra as well. Yeah, surprisingly, I saw his stats. He played over 250 games or something.
With his games over in the Super League, I think he got close to 300.
Jeez, I mean, what an effort from Colin Best. So, good luck in future life, Colin. If you ever listen to this, I doubt that you're going to listen to this, but good luck anyway. Tim Sheens, of course, under fire, under siege, the Australian coach without an NRL job.
Yeah, it's all on the line here for Tim. If he doesn't get up in this Test match, it's hard to see him continuing on.
Well, it's hard to see the Aussies being beaten, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty unbeatable side, but the Kiwis, they've had some good showings.
They've always stepped up for the Aussies, haven't they? Obviously,
they do prefer their tournaments over the Kiwis.
They're obviously the World Cup champions. Still, they've got some strike players in there.
They've got some titles to their name as well.
Do you see Tim Sheens having another NRL job, or is he done? Much like Brian Smith as well, we could throw Brian in there as well. Can you see those two coaching again?
I think Tim Sheens has enough of a name for himself to say yes, he will be coaching.
Yeah.
He does have a few premierships as coach, so that will hold him in a bit better stead than Brian Smith.
Yeah, of course.
And I think we may find Tim Sheens over at the Warriors.
Well, that has been talked about, but it's been dragged out for a while. I think no party has actually said publicly that they're chasing each other.
Yeah, but think about when
who else
pre-season's going to start.
Who else are the Warriors going to sign? I mean, they've got no one.
They need to get someone.
I mean, the Tigers need to get someone.
Same situation.
Mick Potter's been thrown around for the Tigers. Just named the Super League Coach of the Year, actually, for Bradford. I'm not sure if he's won the Super League Coach of the Year, he's obviously got some sort of ability. I don't know much about Mick Potter.
Well, the last three Coaches of the Year over in the Super League, all three Australians. You had Mark Maguire in 2010, Trent Robinson 2011,
and now he's coming to the Roosters
for 2013, and Mick Potter this year.
Possibly the Tigers. Nathan Brown, another candidate for the Tigers.
I think Nathan Brown would be a very wise signing.
I think he was probably chucked into the NRL job a little bit early, possibly at the Dragons. I think he exited on bad terms with the St George club. He's probably paid, he's earned his trade over in England. I think he's been quite successful over there.
He's done very well over in England. He's plied his trade, and he's going to come back a much more mature and
I think so. I think he deserves another chance, and I was on the phone to him before, and he assured me there'll be no more slaps on the sideline. Trent Barrett retired 3 years ago or something, so that you can rest easy.
Future NRL players.
Future players and Nathan Brown.
There will be no slaps.
No slaps, but so Brian Smith, you think he might spell the end for his distinguished career, but without a premiership.
Very distinguished career, and a lot of people are surprised that it's continued so long without a premiership.
Well, I think you'd have to say he's the most successful. Not the most successful. He's the greatest coach ever to not win a premiership. I mean, to coach over, was it 600 games? Yeah, I think it might have been close to. So, fantastic effort to Brian. Maybe he'll get picked up in some sort of capacity.
Maybe he just needs to stop coming up against Bennett in these grand finals.
Oh, yeah, he's his arch rival there. Bennett under a bit of pressure as well, but we'll get to that next year. Quickly onto the AFL. Brendan Goddard, superstar, St Kilda, Loyalist #1 draft pick way, way back. He's leaving St Kilda to Essendon. James Hird, the coach there. That would have probably been a bit of an attraction for Goddard. Shame he was an restricted, I can't get the words right. Restricted agent there, but the new rule in AFL is a rival club can, give an offer, and the other team has 3 days to respond to that. St Kilda didn't choose to match that offer, and he's off to the Dons, so it will be a valuable contribution, won't he?
So just say you're a contracted Sydney AFL player getting 250,000 a year. Your contract's up this year, and Sydney have put forward the same offer, but out of interest, I say, oh no, you're a good player. I'm going to offer you 15,000 more than what Sydney are giving you.
Yeah, you have to.
Because I've put that offer down, even though you haven't spoken to anyone or like you've just first you see of the offer. If Sydney don't respond in 3 days, do you have to take that offer?
Well, I'm not sure the ins and outs of it, but I know that Goddard was given a 3-year deal, offered a 3-year deal by St Kilda. Goddard wanted a 4-year deal. Essendon gave him that 4-year deal. It was more money as well, but under the new rules, St Kilda have 3 days to respond to this, and in those 3 days they've got to match the offer if they want to keep him. So
can they better it as well?
Well, of course they have to match it.
Yeah,
obviously to keep him. Goddard wanted a safety of a 4-year deal.
So it's kind of like the NRL. There's no contracts are set until after June 13. Like Luke Lewis signed in 2009 with South Sydney in early March and then reneged on the deal.
It was before June 13, wasn't it? Is that why he got out of it?
Yeah, because the clubs have a chance to back up they can say, no, we do want this player. We will offer you a contract before June 13 of that year finishing. But once that date passes, all contracts are set.
I think it's a bit of a shame for AFL, especially for St Kilda, who Goddard, is synonymous with the St Kilda Football Club. He had a cracking game for them in the 2010 Durham final.
So who's he signing for? The Hawks?
The Essendon Bombers.
Bombers.
So with James Hird, the coach, the famous James Hird. The one thing, probably one of the last topics we'll cover. The AFL has a draft system. I think it works well. I think they've got it down pat.
But they're changing it up now?
No. I'm saying what I'm saying. So the lesser clubs, obviously, the way it works is the best young prospects in the country enter a draft, and they get chosen. Pretty much, it's like an auction. They get chosen. For example, Greater Western Sydney will get the first draft pick. They'll get the first opportunity to best who they think is the best young talent.
For coming last.
For coming last. So what happens is the lesser teams get first round, get the real high priority draft picks, whereas the teams like Hawthorn, I'm not sure about Sydney just because they were an unexpected success this year, but teams like Hawthorn and Collingwood and Geelong will get will have the last picks. Would you like to see that introduced into the NRL? That's a question. It's great. It's a great way to keep the talent shared out fairly.
It does make it a bit less competitive with the talent agents, the player agents, but I don't know, I still like to see the choice in it a bit.
But just don't forget though, there is some exceptions to the rule. The draft, for example, if your father has played over 100 games for a club, you can enter under the father-son rule, which means if my father played for Sydney for 200 games, Sydney has priority over me.
Yeah. So
they can pick me, but they can pick me in their 4th or 5th pick because they know they're going to get me. Another one is they're introducing, I think, if you have been signed to the books for a team, on scholarships since you're a young kid, I think they've got priority over them. So there are exceptions to the rule. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of draft. Maybe exceptions like local juniors would be nice to see.
Yeah.
That is something the NRL could look at. But I think it would be a great idea, to be honest.
Maybe for a select few juniors coming through the ranks.
Well, I'm not sure how. I think there's usually about 80 to 100 picks by the teams every
split
year.
Amongst the 14
and there's
teams.
usually 16 teams. I think what was it, 18 teams now? Who knows? There's a lot of teams now, a lot of new teams, but there's usually about 150 kids. So not every kid gets picked. So I wouldn't mind seeing it.
So would you say it's maybe 8 choices per club?
No. It's about I think 3 to 4, but not it. But
3 to 4.
Yeah, some.
So each club gets about 4 players.
Yeah, there's usually 3 to 4 rounds.
Okay.
For example, GWS will probably get 2 picks in the first round. So they'll get the first pick, and then they might get the 8th or the 9th or the 10th pick. Yeah. Just because they're a new team starting.
So they'd get 2 picks before Hawthorn gets
one. Yes, of course. Yeah, most definitely. They've got to. That's the way the AFL works. I think it's a great idea. I think the NRL should think about introducing it in some form. Maybe not the same way as the AFL, but in some sort of formula like that.
And then the leftovers are free to sign contracts with whoever they want?
Well, yeah, but generally if you're not picked up by a draft,
You're not.
you're not going to get picked. But automatically, if you get picked up in the AFL draft, you get a contract.
Yeah.
That's the idea of it. And it's great for youngsters. You get experience with the first team. But not every draftee makes the AFL. It's not a guaranteed entry into the team. But I think it'd be a great way to share out the talent.
I think it possibly would work well in league, but I think there's a few more issues within the game that we have to sort out.
Yeah,
before a
fairness.
draft
I
pick.
completely agree with you. Probably some of the rules, especially the actual rules of the game, needs fixed up. The independent commission needs to get up and going. I mean, just take a leaf out of the AFL book. John Grant, please, mate. Just look what they do. They got it down pat. We wouldn't have nearly as many issues.
I mean, look at the success just following the same McIntyre system as them.
Of course. But yeah, was the final series that good this year?
I would say it's been a great success this year. It's a good final series.
I mean, I think that
all the favourites won. The top four deserve to be the four teams in the preliminaries.
I agree with you there. But for me, the best final series I've seen in the last few years was probably 2010. That was a great final series.
Being a Roosters supporter, it would be.
No, but there was some fantastic games. I mean, the St George West Tigers preliminary final was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a great match.
That was a great match. Canberra stunned a lot of teams. They beat the Panthers.
They got beaten by the Tigers.
And they nearly beat the Tigers in the second round.
Jared Croak had that goal.
Yeah, we ruined that for a long time. Old Croaks. But I thought that was a fantastic series, and I think this series is a bit of an edge.
What about Canberra's record? They don't miss the finals in consecutive years.
They don't do that, and you know what? They usually win at least one game in the final, and they usually have one upset as well.
Yeah,
it's great to see Canberra. I think I love the club. I wouldn't say I love the club, but I love the way Canberra play, and
I don't think many people have many reasons to hate Canberra. They're a fairly well-liked club amongst other fans.
I'd like to see them do well. Canberra, I think they're a good honest team. They've got some good youngsters coming through, and it should be interesting. But unfortunately, Nick, that's it for football. I mean, there's the one-off test in the rugby league. There's the rugby championship, but I mean, how boring's that been? I'm not.
And we have the replays taped on my IQ box.
Well, yeah, we got the Big Pond live stream. I'll certainly stream that grand final, the AFL grand final again, to give me a bit of a fix.
Yeah, the Big Pond live stream, or not live streaming, but it's got games going all the way back to round 1, 2005.
Yeah, is that the same for the AFL as well, for all you AFL tragics?
I'd assume they'd have a few years of back games for the AFL as well. Possibly 2005.
To give you that little fix over the next 3 to 4 months, and it's going to be torture. We haven't talked about anything else today because we thought we'd give the grand finals the respect they deserve and just talk about them.
And of course, Rugby League Live 2 coming out on the 11th of October.
Nick is a massive gamer, so
rugby league game for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Tragics.
He wet his pants when he heard the news. We're being released in a few days, but
that's a bit of a fabrication.
I don't know. Check your sheets before, mate. They're a bit dodgy. But yeah, so next week we'll be diving into other issues in sport, in the world of sport. But
and of course that little bit of footy fix just to keep your tragics going through the off season.
We'll give you a bit of AFL, give you a bit of NRL, give you a bit of Union.
Try to pull some stories from somewhere.
Something. Go into the burrow, look for a rumour. Apparently Israel Folau's coming to the Rabbits.
Come on, you bunnies.
Oh, please. We will.
Israel Folau to be finalised. The rumour is just before the membership drive.
I can't see him leaving 2 years into a contract on millions or whatever, thousands of dollars that he's on. So
when they've kicked 2 goals all year, maybe you sort of think about it.
Hey, Mike Pike has shown everyone that it's possible. So I give Oldies and Folau every chance, but we're wrapping things up here. Next week.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but
next week we're here again. Hopefully people are listening. If not, whatever. We like doing this. It's fun.
We'll see you later.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll leave with a bit of footage from both the NRL and the AFL Grand Finals just to give you that last taste of the sweet games. See you later.
All right.